This is macOS Ken.
iPhone may top the smartphone stack. Apple is all over TV and film. And a peek into the Cupertino company's Monsterverse. It is Friday, the 18th of August, 2023. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 20% off any SimpliSafe system when you sign up for a free month trial of Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafecom/macOSCan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. I still feel like Apple's move to drop SIM-free iPhones from the Apple Card monthly financing option is consumer unfriendly. I say that as a consumer. From a business standpoint, totally get it. I found myself wishing earlier this week that I was still part of a discussion show so that I could discuss it. Now I'm practically required to monologue about it, thanks to a few stories on iPhone that hit on Thursday. Did I say a few stories? It actually seems to be a few posts on smartphones and iPhone based on one press release from Counterpoint Research. Basically, it's going to be ugly for every smartphone maker except Apple, which could be considered a wild card. According to Counterpoint's global smartphone shipment forecast, 2023 is likely to see smartphone shipments hit 1.15 billion units. Sounds like a lot, but it actually reflects a decline of 6% and the lowest level for smartphones in a decade. According to the firm, Asia, China not included, India, North America, and China, Asia not included, all look ready to drag smartphones down for the rest of this year. Quoted in the press release, and across every story written on it, is Jeff Fieldhack, Counterpoint Research Director for North America. He says there's been a decoupling between what's happening in the economy and consumers buying phones. So far this year, it's been record low upgrades across all carriers. But, he continues, we're watching Q4 with interest because the iPhone 15 launch is a window for carriers to steal high-value customers. And with that big iPhone 12 installed base up for grabs, promos are going to be aggressive, leaving Apple in a good spot. That takes us back to Apple's decision to remove SIM-free iPhones from the Apple Card monthly financing plan. Until earlier this week, a piece from Mac Rumors explained, Apple Card installments could be used to purchase an iPhone online with the option to connect to a carrier at a later date, which allowed customers to buy an iPhone and then link it to any carrier of their choosing. That meant the ability to spread payments over a 24-month period with 0% APR and 3% daily cash back on payments, plus being able to save on service by using a budget-friendly carrier. Far from scratching the back of big carriers, probably actually rubs them the wrong way. Or did before this week's change. As of this week, in the US, iPhones purchased using the Apple Card monthly financing plan have to have a contract with AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon. Props, by the way, to Piper Sandler analyst Harsh Kumar, who seemed to see this coming on Apple's June quarter earnings call earlier this month. He asked Apple CEO Tim Cook whether carrier promotions around iPhone will continue in full effect in the US in the December quarter. Cook indicated that he didn't want to answer that, then pretty much said, yeah. Forgive me for being philosophical, but we're kind of watching the haves and have-nots thing play out in slow motion with iPhone as the indicator. Ethan Chi, Counterpoint Research Associate Director for China, is quoted in the press release saying, Apple is well positioned in China as the premium segment continues to gain more share. China is one of the countries dragging down smartphone growth, according to Counterpoint. And iPhone's going to get bigger in China because more premium phones are being sold, according to Counterpoint. Also, not just in China. According to the Counterpoint press release, premium and ultra-premium growth is a trend that is happening globally and favors vendors like Apple, which have portfolios heavily weighted in the higher segments. In fact, Counterpoint says 2023 could mark the start of a new era for Apple, as a resilient premium market and strong showing in the US could help it become number one globally in terms of annual shipments for the first time ever. Or not. Counterpoint's Field Hack says it's going to be tight. We're talking about a spread that's literally a few days worth of sales, he says. Assuming Apple doesn't run into production problems like it did last year, it's really a toss-up at this point. And what's funny, not funny, is iPhone could grab the top spot for the first time ever and still see a sales decline. This year is crazy. While Goldman Sachs, the bank that backs Apple Card, may not be having the best time with its consumer business, consumers sure do love Apple Card. 9 to 5 Mac says J.D. Power this week named Apple Card the best co-branded credit card for customer satisfaction with no annual fee. That's a category? I hear they're also number one in cards that rhyme with schmappelschmard. According to a J.D. Power press release, Apple Card, Goldman Sachs, ranks highest in customer satisfaction among co-branded credit cards with no annual fee, with a score of 655. This is the third consecutive year in which Apple Card and issuer Goldman Sachs have collectively won a segment award. Both Apple VP of Apple Pay and Apple Wallet, Jennifer Bailey, and Goldman Sachs head of enterprise partnerships, Liz Martin, praised the relationship between the two companies. That's despite on and off talk that Goldman's looking for an exit from the deal, as its losses in the consumer segment push well into the billions. The bank reported losses of over $3 billion on the consumer side at the start of 2023. But, consumers dig it. Nearly a month later, Apple has fixed a locations permissions issue in Ventura. In late July, a piece from iDownload blog said the 24th of July release of macOS Ventura 13.5 busted controls for location permissions. According to the report, affected customers were not seeing the usual list of apps to which they had given location permissions. They were also not given the option to grant or remove those permissions. All should be right with the world now. Well, that problem's fixed anyway. MacRumor says Apple released macOS Ventura 13.5.1 on Thursday. Fixing the location services issue seems to be the one and only thing that update does. Apple's security updates page lists no security fixes for the update. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Simply Safe, the right way to protect your home. Who watches your home when you're not there? Maybe your neighbors keep an eye out. Maybe a friend or family member is supposed to swing by. Maybe bad guys are casing the place. Wouldn't it be better to know that somebody is on the job? That somebody could be Simply Safe and their smart alarm wireless indoor camera. With that, if an intruder breaks into your home, Simply Safe professional monitoring agents can actually see them, speak to them, and scare them off, warning them that police are on the way. Fancy, new, but still just as simple as ever. Installation is super easy. I had my sensors, keypad, and base station up and running in well under an hour. Visit simplysafe.com/macOSken and pick the parts you need to protect your home. Right now, macOS Ken listeners get a special 20% off any Simply Safe system when you sign up for a free month trial of Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This special offer is for a limited time only. SIMPLI. That's simplysafe.com/macOSKen. There's no safe like Simply Safe. If it feels like Apple products are all over movies and TV shows you watch, that's because they are, at least according to the UK site Merchant Machine. They say they've counted how often product placements occur in 2,227 movies and 890 TV shows featured on productplacementblog.com, the internet's top product placement database. Counting up the number of placements that occur every 10 minutes, Apple is the most placed brand in both TV shows and movies, with the number one most placed product in both as well. In movies, it's the MacBook, while on TV, it's also the MacBook. Running through the rest of the Apple products placed in the top 20, for movies, iPhone is second, while iPad is ninth. For TV shows, iPhone comes in third, while iPad comes in 10th. The tech spend seems to be bigger on TV. For movies, only 4 tech brands turn up in the top 20 in addition to Apple. They include Dell monitors at number 5, Nikon cameras at number 15, Sony TVs at number 18, and Google websites at number 19. One more, as seen on TV, including Microsoft tablets at number 4, Dell monitors at number 5, HP monitors at number 6, Cisco Systems telephones at number 8, and Motorola radios at number 20. Not surprisingly, one service that features a lot of Apple products is Apple TV Plus. Merchant Machine says a Wall Street Journal report found that across 74 Apple TV Plus episodes, characters handled some 300 iPhones, 120 MacBooks, and 40 pairs of AirPods. And finally today, a frustrating tease from Apple TV Plus. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Thursday giving the world a first look at the live-action Godzilla series, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. According to the press release, following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco, and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters tracks 2 siblings following in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. The siblings end up meeting Army Officer Lee Shaw, who is played by 2 actors. Kurt Russell plays Shaw as an older man, while Russell's son Wyatt plays Shaw in earlier days. The press release says the dramatic saga, spanning 3 generations, reveals buried secrets and the ways that epic, earth-shattering events can reverberate through our lives. Also, it's got Godzilla, and probably an Apple product or 2. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this series. I am also incredibly frustrated. While the release says the series will premiere globally on Apple TV Plus alongside an expanding offering of sweeping, world-building dramas, it doesn't say when. Totes Bogue. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by Simply Safe. Get 20% off any Simply Safe system when you sign up for a free month trial of Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.